Like we'll see him again. This is a goodbye, but it isn't like forever. So, all right, moving on to the next topic at hand. And this, speaking of Nintendo, this is regarding a game that we thought once dead, or possibly is dead, but I'll explain here in a second. This is reported off of DailyStar.com, written by Dom Peblet. Title: Scalebound Switch. Good news and bad news, and bad for Nintendo Switch users and Platinum Games rumors. There have been some very curious rumors circulating this week about an old canceled Microsoft Xbox One game that could once again see the light of day, albeit on a different console. According to a very confident report from Nintendo Insider, controversy abandoned Xbox One title Scalebound will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. Quote, I have confidence in my sources to report that it is my understanding that Scalebound has been resurrected as a project to be released on Nintendo Switch exclusive. Unquote. Given Microsoft's previous involvement, it remains unclear to me whether development has completely rebooted from scratch or at the least its ambition scaled back, seen as it's now destined for the nimble but less powerful portable home console. So, where is this? Okay. Oh, well, one last thing. To add more fuel to the fire, one of the industry's most trusted journalists chimed in, noting that he heard these rumors as far back as summer of 2018. Jason Schreier, journalist over at Kotaku, posted on the Reset Air forums, quote, I'll add to this that Scalebound is coming to Switch. Was absolutely a rumor floating around last summer. Thoughts? Because I got some thoughts of my own, but I'm kind of curious to what you think about this.
I'm extremely excited if it is a real thing. I was very, very, very excited about Scalebound when it was coming to the Xbox, and I was like, it was kind of my one, like, oh, look at that, like, Xbox isn't exclusive, fuck you, PlayStation, because I didn't have anything but an Xbox.
Right.
So I was very excited about that, and the game looked cool. I remember gameplay footage, too, at one E3, and I was very, like, there was, like, 4 players fighting one giant boss, and it just looked fucking awesome. And then suddenly it was canceled. It was just straight done. And I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was very happy about, like, I was very excited about it, and I was very sad that it got canceled. So the fact that it could be coming to the Nintendo Switch is very exciting. Now, that being said, as the article states, the Switch does not have the processing power that the Xbox has. Straight up. Just hands down. But look at the difference between Monster Hunter World and the Monster Hunter game that's currently on the Switch.
That is very true. It's very true.
You could scale down. You could scale it back a little bit to make it a little bit more able to be played on the Switch. But if you look at something like Borderlands, and I point this out to people a lot, like, do you remember the very, very original trailer for Borderlands?
I don't. I remember playing it. Was it hyper realistic? Wow.
Oh yeah. I'll have to see if I can't find a link and send it to you, but it was very realistic. And then like a year later, we get another trailer, and like it was super serious and dark and hyper realistic, and then we get a second trailer, and it's cel shaded and very colorful and goofy, but looked like a lot of fun. So they changed how it was, like, drastically. I could see the same thing for Scalebound.
Yeah, I could see the same way too. I think going many different directions. I think the first thing that came to mind when this rumor was roaming about is that I wonder what Microsoft thinks. Like, if this is indeed true, if Nintendo is reviving this game onto the Switch as an exclusive, I kind of wonder. Because my first gut instinct is like, wait, is Microsoft like okay with this? Like, is this a kind of a gut punch to them that they didn't do it? Like, as far as how that narrative goes. But the more I thought about it, it's like, well, Microsoft and Nintendo are working more closely together than ever before. So they already have that friendship as it is. So why isn't it too far fetched for this to come about that they're going to revive a game that Microsoft couldn't do, but Nintendo can? Or, it could be a different form. Like, who knows? But that it's it's very interesting to hear that, and like seeing how what the atmosphere is right now in the game industry. It's not too far fetched to think that at all. Um, and again, another at Fuels of the Fire. This is also Platinum Games, who in the past was saved from Nintendo for the Bayonetta series. Bayonetta 2 had never existed if it weren't for Nintendo, and that's why it became exclusive on the Wii U.
Yeah, I was saying Platinum. Yeah. I knew why you brought up that whole thing because of Platinum Games.
Mm-hmm.
This could be, if they do a direct to kind of like, this is what Microsoft and Nintendo have that they're gonna on. This could be the thing that they announce it with.
You know, oh my god, I'm just like thinking, just like
imagine in a month's time from now, like at the beginning of April, like April 2nd or some shit, because they don't want to do it April 1st.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we got a Switch, or not a Switch, but a Nintendo Direct coming up. You're not going to want to miss this one, yada, yada, yada. And it starts off, and you see the Xbox logo. And then you see the current CEO, which I can't think of his name, and the CEO of Xbox.
Oh, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Phil Spencer. And who is the CEO for Nintendo right now?
Well, isn't it? Well, no, I'm thinking of COO, just Doug Bowser, but that's now I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that time you could see, that actually would be better. I mean, not really, because you want the main CEO.
I don't recall what the main CEO of Nintendo is at the moment. I could look it up actually right now.
But yeah, you see him and Phil Spencer walk up on stage, or not on stage, but on camera. Or you see the CEO of Nintendo walk out, and then he's like, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, and you see him walk on. They're like, so we're gonna have a lot of content from Microsoft exclusively on the Switch, and a lot of cross-play and yada yada yada. Oh, and something back from the dead, and then boom, Scalebound.
Absolutely. By the way, the CEO of Nintendo is Shintaro Fukuhara.
I'll remember that eventually. But it would just be fucking awesome if they did something like that, and I totally see it happening. Like the way that Microsoft and Sony are playing now, like. They both realize that the competing against each other isn't working.
They're actually helping each other out.
Yeah, this console race bullshit nobody gives a shit about. And also, you want to combat PC, you team up.
Yep. Yeah. It's the game has changed. Not to put a pun there, but the game has quite literally changed. Right now than versus what it was years ago. We see this already right now, and it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next 5 years when it comes to what the game industry looks like in terms of like how companies interact with each other, especially from the big three. But it's
Sony just needs to play ball.
Sony does, absolutely. I think at the end of the day, like. Sony needs to get out of its own ego, and they definitely need to just look at the bigger picture here, because the game industry is changing. The way that we see games, the way that games are made are changing, and that Nintendo and Microsoft figured this out already. They're helping each other out. They stand to benefit from each other in terms of like putting the Xbox Live potentially on the Switch as an app, and potentially have it to be you can play games on the Switch, Xbox games, and having the benefit of Nintendo's like, hey, you can play an Xbox game on the Switch on the go, while Microsoft can't say that. So like,
I think, and I don't think that we're getting like specific games on the Switch. I think we're getting like. I don't think we're getting Gears on the Switch. I don't think we're getting Master Chief on the Switch. I don't think that's happening.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But I do think that a lot of older Microsoft exclusives, Crackdown, is coming to the Switch. I could see older titles coming to the Switch. I just don't see big ones like Gears and Halo ever coming to the Switch. I just don't see that happening. But I also don't see like Mario and Metroid and Smash coming to the Xbox either. Okay. Like, you see what I'm saying? They're like, they're still going to have their exclusives. But if there's a game that comes out that both of the systems can play, then all of a sudden crossplay immediately.
I still think it makes total sense on your end, but I also think because of recent weeks of the potential talk about oh, thanks for the raid.
Oh shit, we got a raid.
Well, I'll end this on this before we go into the next topic. Thank you for the raid, Twitch Los Angeles. So I'll end it on this. Is with the recent talking and rumors regarding what Microsoft plans to do with Nintendo, with the Xbox Live coming to the Switch. Is it just an app or more than that? And there's conversations in an article saying that they're going to be not only your friends list and your awards, but you're also going to bring over games as well. I think the potential or the idea that we may see a Gears of War on a Nintendo Switch is not that far-fetched. As crazy as it sounds, I think that might happen, which may lead into Nintendo returning the favor and bringing Mario and its other iteration or what have you to potentially the Microsoft console. It's a crazy far-fetched idea, but it's not that crazy. So
I just see both companies like they're gonna play ball to an extent, and they're gonna be like, we're keeping our IPs, but we're gonna make IPs that work on both.
Absolutely.
That's what I see more happening than what you're saying. The likelihood of seeing Mario on an Xbox and Master Chief on a Switch, I just think is too far-fetched.
Yeah.
But before we move on, guys, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for rating us. Thank you for joining us. Usually we're live every Wednesday night, but because I'm going to be going out to a tournament tomorrow night, we had to do it today. But thank you for guys who are here, and thank you for those who are new to the Twitch channel. We do a weekly gaming news show here on this Twitch channel. We talk about gaming news in the past week, and we give our thoughts on each news story. And we upload these on our YouTube channel and on podcast services around the world every week. So thank you, and enjoy your stay.